Alright guys, nice to meet you. I'm Hikaru. I am a Wolfboy VTuber, and today I am going to be showing you my Clerk setup and also a general tips and tricks guide on how to play the Clerk. For those of you who don't know, I'm a Hydra tier hunter, and I got to my rank mostly through Clerk. She is my main. So the first thing I want to have you guys look at is if you go into your game and then you click on the escape setting or this little gear icon right here, you want to go into your games. Down here, scroll down to keyboard layout and mouse sensitivity. So you hit settings. One thing I really like to do on Clerk is that you go to Hunter, scroll all the way down here, change to Clerk all the way at the bottom, and then change your replays. Replay 1 on Z, replay 2 on X, and replay Z3 is on C. They're the three buttons right under your WASD keys. And this is generally for ease of access. Your default keys are F1, F2, and F3, and those are extremely hard to use, so I highly recommend this. For other general settings, you can check out my other hunter guide, which I will be uploading sometime soon. For those of you who are watching the video right now, this is not going to be like a Clerk 101 class. I'm not going to describe every little thing about the Clerk. You can probably find that out on another video on YouTube, but I will be going over some of the more masterclass Clerk plays that you can make, and this is what really sets hunters that know what they're doing from hunters that don't know what they're doing, and this is the optimal way to play Clerk. During this recording, we'll be going over some of the higher level Clerk tactics, such as cipher pressuring, ability usage, and bonus tips and tricks that you can do. And afterwards, we'll look over one of my gameplay videos where I talk over my thoughts as I'm playing the Clerk. This is the persona tree I use for most survivors. If you use this against most team combinations, you'll probably be okay. Some of the key features are trump card and detention. I also like to take berserking, chase, and impulsive. These are really strong persona trees for traits for chasing most survivors down. However, there are some situations in where you might want some anti-stun if you're happening to face a team combination with a lot of stuns on it, such as a batter, enchantress, forward, stuff like that, where you might be constantly stunned. So one of the first things that you might have to know that I will be explaining is that when you are a Clerk and you're recording your own actions, you only get one recording of it. But when you're recording a survivor, you get 2 actions of it. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about how to pressure a cipher. As you can see here, I'm about to put the seer on the chair and I only have one script to work with. A great way you can still utilize your abilities to pressure on ciphers is just to use your R ability to look down. So if you take a look here, you can see I'm looking at the prisoner, and that already puts enough pressure on the prisoner to not decode that cipher, because he knows that if I tap my ability on him and start recording, it's going to lock down that cipher for about 7 to 8 seconds. You don't actually have to record the survivors to put pressure on the cipher, but if you do choose to record the survivor, you should do this. Notice how I wait until the very last second of my R ability before starting to record the prisoner. This means I get maximum time to do my recordings with. When you record the survivors in such a way, it means that you get all of the time from your R ability plus additional time from your recording if you just leave the recording on. Alright guys, so this is how you use Clerk recordings. The very first thing you want to know is that you want to catch people at the very start or ending of a recording. And so you see me holding the recording, but I'm not actually using it until the prospector drops the pallet right here. And one very important thing you need to take note of is that as you're recording, you will catch the recording as long as they're still doing the action. Until that pallet is completely down and the animation is complete, you are still able to catch a recording from them. So as you can see, the pallet was already down, he was already dropping it, but I still get a recording because I started recording midway through his dropping of the pallet. And when you do these recordings, you want to do them right at the start or stop of an action. So you'll notice that once I get this recording, I clip it right away, and now I can use it to drop it on him later. He vaults over this pallet and I record myself breaking the pallet. Hunter recordings are automatically trimmed, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And so let's take a look at this chase. I can see him going through that pallet, And I can use that pallet drop that I saw him use earlier to instantly drop the pallet. Another thing you want to know here, I'm walking through this pallet right here. Because the animation itself doesn't have to fully be complete for the pallet to break. The pallet breaking animation is already happening, but I can already walk through this pallet. So there's almost no downtime between the pallet breaking and the clerk walking through it. And that lets me get a really early second hit. Alright, so here's another neat trick you can do as a clerk. If you notice that there's a mechanic in your game, you can actually record yourself auto-attacking, and it takes 2 hits to down a mechanic bot, or 1 full point of damage. So you can look around the map for the mechanic bot, and then hit them really quick back to back. Most of the time, mechanics aren't paying too much attention to their bots to notice that you're looking down at them. So this is a quick way to determine where the bot is, and now I can determine the location of the mechanic because once you kill the bot, it lets you know where they're at. Those are some of the quick tips and tricks that you can use when playing the clerk. Now, let's take a look at some of the gameplay videos that I have. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the video, you guys. So, this is a real game, a real ranked game at... This is currently the Manticore level because the season reset, so we'll have a variety of different levels of players in here right now. Clerk is really good against this combination. You're good against mechanics that don't really pay attention, but I also like farming psychologists for some reason her auto attacks that break portals, you have to get it really precise. I've done it a couple of times before, but it does help to keep one handy. How's your stream so far? It's going great. I'll show you guys how it works when we get down to the... Let's see, it's Chinatown. Okay. So, based on spawn locations, there should be a couple behind me. It's either left or right. As long as it's not Acrobat. Oh, it's Acrobat. I kind of don't want to hunt Acrobat first. He's the only one I really can't do it to first. There should be one over here too. Oh, can't exit that view. Okay, I'll take Psychologist first. Alright, so something really important when you're chasing as Psychologist, or when you're chasing as the Clerk, you want to make sure you get recordings only when you need to, otherwise you'll be wasting... you're kind of wasting your time with the recordings, because you only get 3 of them. So she's not even going to use this palette, so we're just going to go over here. I just saw a mechanic over here, and I don't want this long portal to be a thing, so I'm going to break it really quick. Alright, I found the mechanic. I'm just going to take care of her first. And then maybe we can snipe out her bot. Normally we don't want to go for her first, but it's okay. I know she already landed her bot out. We can get her down really quick here. I just didn't want to switch on to Psychologist. A little bit of a mistake sometimes people make is that when you're using the Psychologist and you get her down to her stress level to very low, she can actually use that against you, and when she gets rescued without Tide, she'll be able to heal up a little quickly. I always thought this like right at the start of the game when she does this sound. Alright, now I know where her bot is. Alright, so I'm kind of aware of where her bot is. I'm gonna try to snipe it out. You look down on here, and then you... like this. And now I'm gonna pick her up so she can't dodge it. and that kills the bot. So you want to be able to look down at certain areas you know where the bot is at, and then you can snipe it out with your auto attacks. It's a really great way for Clerk to abuse the mechanic. And since I can look from across the map as well, it makes it really easy for me to find the bot. And now she can't decode while she's on chair. So as Clerk, you can also lock down the ciphers pretty quickly. Since I have extra scripts, I can just keep it on lockdown. It's not a big deal. Okay, Priestess set up a support portal. But it's not gonna last her very long. Whoa! She's zoom in. We got both tides out there. Alright, no problem at all. We're going to end the mechanic down here. And then... let's see. These two have some progress on them. Which one's this one? Alright, I generally know where she's at. So I know of two ciphers that are relatively almost done. Alright, and I know where Hatch is. It's under Arch. So you don't want to record as Clerk until they walk right by a pallet, because that's when you know that they may or may not drop it. As the Clerk, if you're not full presence, I'm full presence in this image right now, but if you aren't full presence, you want to make sure you catch the very start or the very end of a recording. I'm gonna lock it off here so she can't do anything, and I'm gonna down her like this. Yeah, keep in mind, if they try to loop you in an area, there's a lot of trap areas that you can use as the Clerk. If people jump into here, you can box them off by cutting off that the escape area. Oh, she tapped it. Okay. This one doesn't really have any use to me. But I have one recording left. I'm just gonna keep him recorded. Priestess is probably gonna try to do a rescue from here. Oops. I'm just waiting for her to like pop out. Yeah, like that. I still have my flash too, so it's quite nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna use it on her. These green portals look like poop. That one's gonna go away soon anyways. You want to always use your R on cooldown, so you can lock them away from the ciphers. I'm gonna take a recording here since it doesn't look like he's decoding or anything. Oh! Never mind. Even by pressing R, you already put pressure on the cipher. Did I not hit him before? Alright. Alright, I can just keep her until the very last second of my R, and that way it saves me the most time. Plus, I don't have a lot of scripts right now, so I'm just gonna save them. I can just leave it recording, even if she didn't tap it at the moment. I'll just leave it on her for as long as I can, and then hopefully Psychologist isn't able to do anything here. So see how I'm able to just constantly rotate my ability? It makes it so that I can stall this cipher for as long as possible. And I know it's not primed because she keeps touching it. Well, it might be primed now. So I'm guaranteed at least one of them here. And now we can play for late game, so I can constantly turn on and off these gates. Even if she pops it, it's not a huge deal. I know where one of them is, and I can teleport down the other one. Did she actually try going for the door? Alright, we're gonna teleport over here first. Alright, there's no way she's getting away from me here. And now we kind of just have to wait for the psychologist. One great thing about the clerk is that she can store her detention hits like this. So actually, psychologist is around here. I don't know exactly where she is, but she's around. Even if I use these hits like these and people pick themselves up, it doesn't matter because these detention hits deal double damage. We could get a 4K here, or I could just play this slow and just wait for her to show up. Since there's not a lot she can do at the moment. Oh. She's got portals for days. And now we found the last one. So, yeah, if we just play it slowly, they can't really get away from you. And with your snipe, you can actually take them down in one hit. You want to aim for, like, places where they have no choice but to go through. Just like that. Yep, and that's a 4K. Hey guys, if you liked that video, be sure to subscribe. And hit the notification bell to be notified of new uploads. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye!